Joining us today, I'm very pleased to welcome Adrian O'Brien, Vice President of Business Development at Midnight Sun. Adrian, welcome.
Very happy to be here. I mean, it's London, it's Northern Minor Metals Symposium. This is awesome. Great.
Well, we're happy to have you, and it was, I dare say, although with some reservation, it was a thrilling presentation that you gave there with Zambia and copper. So for those that aren't familiar with Midnight Sun, could you tell us a little bit about the company and what you guys are up to?
Sure. So we've been around for a while. This company has been around for about 12 years. We're working in this really special part of the world. We're working in Zambia, working in this area called the Domes region, which is, as I always like to say, this is a globally important district. And that's evidenced by presence of Barrick, the presence of First Quantum, Ivanhoe, Rio Tinto, you name it. They're all there for one reason. The deposits in this region are averaging 1 billion tons. Mm-hmm. They're near surface, they're big, they're high grade, and it's a district where you can get these things off the ground. And they're low strip ratio, produce a ton of cash flow. These are really impressive mines, tier one. And we're the only junior in the middle of the belt that has an asset that looks like it might just be the next big one. So we're marching it forward. We have a discovery. It's real. We've proven our thesis. And now we're in the most exciting phase. We get to show the world how big it is.
Yeah, how exciting, and what a story. So could you tell us a little bit more about the asset? In a sense, how did Midnight Sun come across this asset?
Yeah, I love this story. So, I joined the group. I used to be with a group called Oxygen Capital. So I joined Midnight Sun about 3 years ago with an express purpose. I came in to help with access to capital and to help get the story out and really broaden the public awareness of what we were doing. And the project itself had history. It was part of First Quantum's original package. So First Quantum has the Kansanshi mine. It's their flagship. 1 billion tons at 0.66% copper. They just opened up a brand new lens that's going to give them 42 years of mine life. So this is a phenomenal asset. It's their flagship. It's 6 kilometers away from us, okay? Literally next door. The only thing that separates our project and theirs is the town of Solwezi, which is a 75,000 person town. Their haul road runs right through our property, and this property was originally part of theirs. So what happened was, going back to the time they were putting it into production, 20 years ago, First Quantum had 20 licenses. The Zambian government said, look, we're gonna bring in this thing called the use it or lose it rule. And the easiest way to explain it is this. If you're a big company and you're hoarding ground, you have tons and tons of property, they don't want that to be the case. They want all of the projects that could possibly be moving forward, getting worked on, getting explored, and moving along. So they brought in this rule and they said, look, if you're sitting on 20 licenses, we want you to keep the 5 core licenses you're working on, shed the other stuff, let someone else go to work there. And Midnight Sun managed to option that property. So we ended up with 15 licenses combined into 3, essentially, 500 square kilometers. Mm-hmm. This is the ground that First Quantum was once exploring for the next part of their Kansanshi operation. And now we have it, and it has it has 4 different targets, but it has one asset in particular called Dumbwa that is absolutely extraordinary. And it has a near surface oxide thing we can talk about as well.
Yes, okay, so very briefly, if you can you just tell us, in a sense, what you think you might have and where the project is going?
Sure. So the easiest way to explain Dumbwa is a little bit different, okay? So when you look at Kansanshi is a classic sulfide-hosted or strata-bound copper deposit. What's cool about these is they're right near surface. So these aren't something that are, when you look at the porphyries in the world that are, at the top of the Andes or something, these things are 2 kilometers deep. Most of the assets that are out there, good luck ever getting them into production. They're too expensive, they're too deep, they're in really difficult jurisdictions, and not just to mention areas that have a bit of a history of nationalization. So in Zambia, you're dealing with deposits that are sitting right at surface. They run from surface to maybe a max depth of 150 or 200 meters. That's what Kansanshi is. But Dumbwa is a little different. Dumbwa is our flagship. It's actually what they call a basement dome hosted deposit. So it's completely different. It's a basement dome hosted system. The 2 comparisons are Lumwana and Kamoa-Kakula, which also happen to be the two biggest deposits in the district. Kamoa-Kakula is 1.4 billion tons at almost 3% copper. Lumwana, which is right beside us on the west side of our property, and of course Barrick's flagship, that one is 1.62 billion tons at 0.52. So that's the analog. Geologically, Dumbwa and Lumwana are identical. We know that largely because the guy running our project is the guy that absolutely blew the lid off of Lumwana for Barrick and gave them the tier 1 asset they're now sitting on. His name's Kevin Bonnell. He's a PhD geo. So he came to us through Barrick, ended up joining Midnight Sun a couple of years ago, and he is driving this thing forward. We have a brand new discovery. He has delivered exactly what he said he was going to, and it looks to be very, very big. So we're excited.
It is a compelling story. So as we wrap up here, Adrian, what is your message to investors? What do you want them to know?
Man, I think the big thing here is we set this plan in motion almost 2 years ago, maybe even a little more than 2 years ago. We told the world what we were going to do. We had this asset we believed was the next big deposit in Zambia. In our business, one of the things that I've dealt with this is my 31st year in this business. One thing that I've seen over and over and over again is projects taking way too long. They're not delivered in a timely manner. It takes too long. You lose the focus of the investor, right? This is all about execution. We told everyone what we were going to do. We executed on every level. Here we are, not even 18 months later. We've gone from a $20 million market cap to a $360 million market cap, sitting today at about $300 million, 30 million, $40 million in the bank now. So we're well funded. We've executed every step of the way. We have the discovery we said we were going to make. We've drilled 60-something holes already. We're marching it forward, 5 drill rigs on the ground, 6 coming in. What that all means is complete and total conviction. We've put every piece in place. We're driving this to the finish line. And at a time when the world needs copper more than ever, and this is the district that everybody wants to get it. You have the Chinese and US having a tug of war over these properties. We are literally right in the center of this and delivering what we think might be one of the most important copper assets in the market.
It's a dramatic story, so thank you for sharing it with us. Adrian O'Brien, Vice President of Business Development at Midnight Sun, thank you for joining us.